So today we're going to talk about a pendulum, and a pendulum, or using a pendulum, is really mind-boggling and mind-bogglingly beautiful, as it is a tangible way to define something that is untangible or hard to be defined. So I love teaching this. I'm a little bummed I'm not going to be able to see your expression, because normally when we're in big group settings, people are like, no way, this is so weird, or you're faking it, or whatever. But then when they experience it themselves, it's like all these light bulbs start to go off. If you've worked with the pendulum before, then this is a really nice refresher for you. And if you've never heard of a pendulum before, then this is awesome. On the site, I put a picture of what different pendulums look like, traditional pendulums. I really believe that pendulums are just natural material tied to natural material. They're anything that has some sort of heaviness or point at the bottom that allows you to connect with energy. And so I really like actually using necklaces. This is a necklace of mine that I wear often. I like using necklaces that has a crystal, an orgone, which is a bunch of crystals and copper, a really good energy protector actually. It's called orgone. Look that up, O-R-G-O-N-E, as a little side note. They're beautiful to use to block negative energies, and this is really potent to use, especially when you are in a space that doesn't serve you, or when you're doing healings, which you're not level 2, so you shouldn't be doing that yet. But if you're a yoga teacher, or you're just a nurse or something where you're around people, or just a human that makes the world better, this blocks negative energies. But that's just a side step. Really, a pendulum is something tied to something that's natural. I like using necklaces because they sit close to your heart, and so they're picking up the energy of the heart, and that's really what we're working on when we work with pendulums. Show me the energies, and where does the most potent energies exist? It's in our heart space. So what a pendulum is something natural tied to something natural. You should go and get a pendulum, or you can go outside and tie a stick to a string. You just need something natural tied to something natural. You probably have a necklace on or around you, or something with you that you can use, and get that, and then we'll start to use it. And how do you do it? Well, you want to just hold it with your finger in front of you, and you can see it's not moving at all here, and you're going to start to talk to it. So I know that you're probably going to think that I'm making it do this, but I would never lie to you. This is the energy moving. This is why manifestation works. This is why you become your thoughts, because your voice is Reiki, and your voice shifts and changes things based upon what you say. And study upon study shows that this is true. I'm going to have a link to the rice study, and you can see that when rice is talked to badly, it turns gnarly. When rice is talked to positively, with positive words on the bottle, it didn't get stale. And this is the same as what I'm doing here. I'm showing that I can control energy. And so what I'm going to do, here's my pendulum, my necklace. I'm going to talk to it. So you can see this here, yeah? Perfect. I'll put it right there so you can see. And I'm going to say, pendulum, can you move up and down? And immediately it starts to move up and down. Now my energy's strong. I'm an energy healer, and I work with energy all the time, and I'm very connected to this pendulum. I use it often. I'm going to tell it to go in a circle, and you can see how it's moving in a circle. And I promise you, I'm not trying to do anything funky or sly. I'm just teaching you how pendulums work. Tell it to stop, go in a backward circle, and so it does whatever I say to do. Can you go diagonal? Really big. Be very dramatic, pendulum. And so it's becoming what I'm telling it to do. Pretty intense, huh? Alright, stop. So what I want you to do is pause the video, get a pendulum. If you don't have one, make one. There's natural things all around you. Hold it and start to talk to it. After you're done with that, you can reflect on it, you can journal on it, see the experience. Notice that you can control energy, and then use this as your first lesson with Reiki. Be careful how you talk to yourself, because whatever you tell the energies around you to do, you will become. So if I look in the mirror and I say, ew, I'm so ugly, you're going to become so ugly. Just as this moved this way and that way. Okay, so pause the video. When you're done playing around with that, and you might play around with that for hours, come back for the second part of the video, because I'm going to show you how to use it in another way. So pause. Okay, so I hope that you had a lot of fun playing around with controlling energy. That's the first step, that you control energy, right? in this way. I told it what to do. Now you can actually use this as a means to not control energy. This is how you learn to create a blockage or a shield, and you really protect yourself from energies that don't serve you. So here's my pendulum, and I say move up and down, and it moves up and down. And now I'm going to say I want to be protected from this energy. So please be protected. I just make that simple statement. I'm protected. My energy is just in this space. It's not connected here. And then I say move up and down. Go side to side. It really can't because I created this block here. So I'm using my words to control once again. So when you walk into a Walmart or you're having a conversation with someone who no longer serves you and you're feeling these negative energies, you use Reiki in that way too. Just say to yourself, please let me be protected. Don't let those energies influence this invisible energy shield here that I have going on. Does that make sense? Sit and think about that and then play around with that. I want you to pause the video, create the shield, use this in your journal it, see how it works. So you're not, this is for empaths, people who pick up everything. Now we say, hey, energy, I'm in charge. I'm setting some ground rules here, and no, we're not connected. There's a time to be connected when energies around you are positive, and there's a time to be supported from them, and there's also a time to be shielded. And so now you're learning the distinction. I'm highly connected to this. I'm connected to you now. Move up and down, right? And now I'm shielded. Move up and down. And it's that simple. People try to make things more complex than they really are. Life is very simple if you just pay attention. And so that's what we're doing here. So part 2 of this pendulum use, I want you to pause this, practice on shielding, work on making that little barrier between your pendulum, and note too that the more time you spend with your pendulum, the more it'll get to know your energies, and then we'll go from there. And so pause the video and then come back for part 3. So if you're having, welcome back, if you're having a hard time with making it move or not move, this means that there's a blockage within you. It means that there's a blockage within you. And so either you're in your head, if you're saying this is bullshit, this isn't really working, or she's making that up. And I've seen this happen sometimes with some of my students. There's a blockage, there's something you holding back, and you're going to get to see that your pendulum's going to work real quick and easy for you the more open you get. So if you're open to this, then obviously it's going to happen really easily. If you're blocked and not buying it, then you're just going to continue to get better at it, because you're going to continue to remove the conditioning, the questioning, the mental stuff that's blocking you from really believing and opening to these things. So take your time with it and keep practicing. One last pendulum exercise that you can use for now, and we'll get into another pendulum exercise to check our chakras and the next part of this class. But for now, what you can do is actually use your pendulum as like a magic 8-ball, which is so cool. So you don't need to, this is your third eye working for you in a tangible form. This is going to make the decisions for you. You don't even need to make a decision on anything else anymore, because you have your pendulum. So what you want to do is first, here's your pendulum, and I create the shield because I've been working with my pendulum, asking it yes or no many times for many questions, and a lot of times I've manipulated my own pendulum, meaning I've got the answer that I wanted it to be instead of what the true answer was. So what I do is just set a little intentional prayer before I get started, and I believe in angels, but whatever you want. I say, angels, please direct my pendulum to give me the answer that I need. Don't let my ego or any of my imbalances come in to give me the answer. So show me what I need. And so first I ask the pendulum to show me what is yes. And so yes is moving up and down. Can you show me no? So no means in a circle. So you just ask it yes or no questions. So I'm going to say, is my name Shauna? And then you can see that it just did yes. Do I have blonde hair? It's going to say no, right? So it's picking up, it's energetically telling us what it needs to know. Am I 50 years old? No. Am I 20 years old? No. Do I look 20 years old? And see, that's the ego blockage there. The angels are saying, no, you don't look 20 years old. Whereas if I was able to manipulate it, I would make it say yes. And so you can ask all these different questions, and you can ask big questions. What are things that you think about often in your life? What are things that are important to you? Me currently, as I'm writing this video right now, watching this video right now, what's happening in my life, what's going on in my head, are questions that I would ask about, because they're creating blockages everywhere else. So I want to know if I'm going to have children one day. Am I going to have children one day? And so that says yes. And there's no manipulation here for it. In this. So you can ask these questions. You can ask about, is a specific person good in your life or bad in your life? Should I eat this food? I remember one time I was, I started making some serious money. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a big girl bed. I'm going to have like a really nice Tempur-Pedic $1,000 bed. So I go to the mattress shop as an adult and I start sitting on the beds, and I can't decide which one I want because they're all awesome. So I'm like taking out my pendulum, putting it over each mattress. Should I take this one? Should I take this one? And like, people are looking at me like, what's that freak hippie doing? But I found the perfect bed, and I don't have neck problems, so hey, trust the pendulum. So I want you to play around with it and just honor what have you learned from the beginning of the video. First, just trying to make it move. Then the second part in creating the blockage, and now, or creating the shield so we don't have a blockage. And then now from using it as your friend, the yes or the no aspect of it. And if you're really truly having a hard time with this, it's okay. It's going to get easier, I promise. It's just blockages that are probably in some area, probably your third eye or your crown chakra. And the next section is about the chakras, and we're going to get into that. So we'll get into releasing the blockages so you'll be more open to this. But generally speaking, people who are attracted to Reiki, this comes easier to them because they believe in it and they're already open to this energy field. Journal on this experience right now. That's your homework. Journal on everything that just happened. And then your homework is use this always. Use your pendulum to help you. Be amazed by it. Start to believe in energy and the fact that energy can be controlled. And then use it every day in your life. Every day in your life. This is not a course where you do something and then you get the certification and it's done. This is a course for healing. This is as if you would eat a banana every morning or take your vitamin every morning. You're going to use your pendulum to help you. You no longer need wrinkles to think like this. You now can come to a place where you can trust and find answers. At the end of the whole session is when I want all your homework sent to me, like I said in our emails. But this is the one time that if you feel completely like, oh my God, I gotta talk to Shauna, this is so cool, or you feel completely blocked and you really need some help with this, send me an email. I'm here for you, and we'll talk about it. We'll go through it. If you're gonna send me an email to tell me it's so cool, I already know it is so cool. I use it all the time, but yeah, I know it's so exciting. And I'm stoked for you to have this new tool, because this really is going to play a part in you energetically balancing your life. This is Reiki right now, using a pendulum. It is. There's more classes later on after you get to through level 2, advanced pendulum use, pendulum chartings, a bunch of stuff that we'll get into. But for now, just master this part.